Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grim Reaper for another video to Raid Shadows. Today we're going to go over something. Recently I have posted 3 vs 3 video of my 100% offense. Today we're going to talk about building defense teams and what I normally look for and some things that you guys might not be aware of. Obviously I don't have the most stacked account. I am driving a very good account. I have a very good account. I have very good gear. But obviously I don't have a lot of the crazy meta champions, no Taurus, no Marushka, no Necrit, stuff like that, and I still stay in gold 4 very consistently and without any problems really, if I'm honest, even on offense or defense. So today we're going to go over my experience and how to build a perfect 3 vs 3 defense. I suppose there's no perfect 3 vs 3 defense, and there's always a counter to your teams, and it also depends on people's rosters as well. But we're going to talk about picking out key points and some strong champions as well for 3 vs 3 arena. So first of all, we'll start off with defense based champions, right? Or support champions. So I think champions like Duchess, for example, are really strong for a live arena, 3 vs 3 arena and normal arena. So building a solid Duchess is a very good start, right? Building a solid Arbiter is a very good start. So another thing that you could possibly do is, I've got 2 Duchess on my account. I also have a former fusion champion, right? I have Yugo. I have a video on how to build a Yugo. I will link this at the top somewhere at some point throughout this video, so you can go and watch that showcase of him. It's built for live arena, but you can also, it's built the same way. Champions like Python as well are really good. As you can see, we have another bolster set here, right? So we have a bolster set here, which is really good. At the moment, the main blessing for most champions is sheep. I don't like the sheep, most people don't like it, but it's important for you to know that sheep is probably part of the main meta for live arena. So sorry, for 3 vs 3 arena. UDK, right? UDK was a free champion for a lot of us, so we have a UDK build here, which is quite perfect. It's quite good, and also in different sets. So yeah, and then we have Cardio, another great champion for 3 vs 3 defense. Again, in a bolster set, right? You can see where I'm kind of going with this. So how to build a perfect defense. So we're going to look at mainly Cardiel for this video, right? So Cardiel obviously has a triple 3-piece reaction. So reaction is 0.1 to make as a good 3 vs 3 defense. So reaction is a good start. And then another thing that I would like to point out is a mixed sets, right? So I see a lot of people just running stone skin and generally thinking that stone skin is the solution to building a great 3 vs 3 defense. But what they don't realize is bolster set is actually probably a little bit better because it's on for 3 turns, and you can afford to build your champions a little bit faster and still benefit from reaction sets as well. And also bolster and bolster stacks, right? So if you run 2 champions of bolster, that's a huge shield. Now there is champions like Baron, for example, who can hit through that shield, but it's still going to take a lot of work and a really decent build to get through that. So this is where we also have a 2-piece Divine set, right? Another set from the Forge, a really good Forge, and this is mainly aimed at in-game players. So for me, I'll show you my defenses. I'm not really worried about people hitting my defense, if I'm honest, because like I do very well on offense. But we'll speak about this. So as you can see here, we have a triple revive team, which is my main thing for live arena right now. We have a protection set CF. So protection sets are really good as well, and they're really good if you don't have a lot of polymorph, right? Because this will give you the chance to make sure a lot of your buffs don't get stripped from Kaimars, Rantu, Blood Twin, and all these, right? And another thing as well that I like to try and add in is a cleanser. So we have a cleanser, we have Cephian and Rodus who can cleanse herself from a passive, which is really nice. But we also have Pythian in here. So Pythian's in a bolster set. He gives us a bit of extra protection. So that's a protection set, a bolster set, and then we have a 6-piece high resist stone skin build on her. So I will be changing a build. I am actually going to release a video some point this week. I think it's going to be this weekend on Raglim. I feel like I don't really use her that much on offense, but she's a great champion for defense. And we're going to change the build up, and I kind of want to see how stacked we can get her, right? So that's something we'll be looking at. So a really good champion for that, and I think she's going to be good for me in live arena when we go to live arena in gold, right? Because we can't use so many of the same champions, etc, etc. So I think she's definitely an option for me for that, right? Queen, is it Eva? Eva's like a better version of her, so that would be interesting. So we have triple revive, which is really annoying. Obviously, if they have block champions, that's going to be good, right? But you could build a high resist here, and I have, which is regular. I have another 80 extra resistance for lead there. We also have sheep, so it's worth pointing the highest sheep should always be first, and then when I get stripped, then I have more chance of sheeping the champion. Obviously, Raglan is second here because of the C3 resistance, so I kind of need that, so that's why she's there. And then we have the second team. Again, we have another bolster set, right? So this Duchess is a fast bolster set Duchess, and then we have a very fast Warlord to offer me protection, and then the counter to Warlord is mainly Rodus and his extra turns. So we have a UDK in Stone Skin, so we have one bolster, one Stone Skin, and one fast Warlord to protect us. Now, CC champions used to be really good in arenas, but now with Polymorph coming out, CC champions are not that strong because they generally get CC'd, right? They get Polymorph, and that gives them a massive advantage to your opponent. That's why I generally don't build on takeovers or my account CC champions no more, because I just generally build Warlords or Unicorns as an option, or maybe a UK who has a revive and offers other things to that aspects of the polymorph counter. So that's a few things that I look at. So, and then obviously we have Leo, right? Leo is not the best nuke in the world, but he has got good survivability as a nuke option. So Leo has unkillable, hits fairly hard, and his weakness is also Rodus, like Warlord. So UDK will protect us again from Rodus, right? There is worth pointing out Mortimer Carb is a bit of a dangerous threat here because he can go through UDK, but again, we have unkillable. If he goes off and they have an auto, he's going to go for Leo for sure. So that's something to bear in mind, or he's going to go for Duchess. And then we have Team 3. So Team 3 is again a Stone Skin Duchess here. So Stone Skin Duchess offer me a lot of protection. Stone Skin Duchess is very well, but you do need to have a mix of champions and sets in there. So we have a Brognian De Priest who has extra HP, as you can see, and has a lot of HP and has a very big bolster set. His shield also stacks on top of the bolster set. So when he puts his shield up on the A3, it will stack, and it's superbly quite big and quite amazing. So if they do strip the Stone Skin, then we have that. Now you could have Polymorph again, but I have took the risk and gone with extra HP because I also use him on offense as well, so it kind of makes sense for me to do that. And then we have another Warlord, again, high accuracy, fast. It's not fast as my other one, but it has more accuracy. So, you know, so like again, I can use it on offense. It gives me the two Warlords give me a really good synergy to build around that, to build the 12 champions to need. And then we have Candy. Candy is amazing with Duchess, still fairly underrated. I kind of feel like he's underrated now because a lot of people sleep on him now. But I think with like the synergy with the Veils, he offers so much. Mine is also actually a Stone Skin as well, so if they do one shot the Baron, so if they do one shot with Baron, then my Duchess and Candy will stay alive, right? Because of Stozica. So again, I have a mixed sets, so I can't get bombed, and it's very hard to bomb me when I have fast warlords as well. So that's another thing to bear in mind. To still be bombed, but it will take another what's his name, another Vergis or Two Hand to bomb me. But then also they got try and counter two teams that are very similar. Okay, let's talk about nukers then. So obviously you don't want to just go in here with 4 stall champions. It doesn't really work. People like me are happy to sit in here and go up against you and just wipe you one by one. You know, like it's like basically a free win. So you do need some type of nukers in here, and it's really hard to build decent nukers for 3 versus 3. So again, it's team synergy and stuff like this that you need to think about. There's quite a few legendary champions out there that is good for 3 versus 3. So Leo is not the best, but he has some type of survival mechanics. He's also very protected very well by UDK and Duchess and Warlord. So again, the team synergy kind of fits. Candy obviously has a great passive. He receives way less damage from that passive of his, as was said. And then Rolus is another great champion, right? He can he needs a double hitter, so again he can survive hits from like Baron and stuff like that without causing me any problems. So again, Rolus is up there, you know, Leo's up there and Candy's up there. And there's a couple of, you know, tap-based nukers who can do that job. You know, and we're going to go through. We got, we got Herbie, right? I call him Herbie. You can put him in a 4-piece toe skin and then go cruel. But this guy hits really passive, hits really hard, and his passive is really nice. They kill one of you, it kills Duchess, it goes again, and you have a chance of wiping most of their team, right? So again, Duchess is up there, so that's something to bear in mind. Again, Baron with good protection around him. Baron with UDK stops him using a Rodus. Morty Macabre is much more tricky. If you have a Warlord as well, it gives you more protection. Again, Baron would actually be really good in my defense in that role, and maybe we'll try him this weekend. Another one, actually surprisingly, is Yannicka. Yannicka is not a bad champion. She's not S tier for defense, but if you have a Duchess or a good survivability, she can do fairly well, right? So not too bad. And then who else do we got that we can use? So Krila smacks pretty hard. Secret Nuker there, definitely for that. Who else could we say who offers DPS? I suppose Brogni Underpriest, right? If Brogni Underpriest puts up his shields on top of a bolster, and then you're going up against Trunda, let's say you don't have a Trunda counter, and you know you will die to Trunda, put Brogni Underpriest in there. He will reflect the damage back and then kill himself. Kill her with the reflection, right? Trunda's a decent nuker on defense because she's quite bulky. She has very good base stats and stuff like that. So she has better survivability than Ithos, for example. So Trunda's definitely up there. She still hits fairly hard and can definitely do some work. Torment, I think Torment's like an outside nuker now that people don't really understand. I think I've come across him 1 or 2 times in 3 vs 3. Even myself, I've stopped using him. My team synergies with all Warlords and stuff like that work much better. So again, like Torment on a defense, like a hybrid build to a little bit of accuracy, but then build him like full nuke. And if you have a Seafy or weather, definitely you could put increased defense or even Mephala, right? So again, defense-based nukers are very strong. There's a lot of good defense nukers in the game now that don't really get talked about because they're not as S tier as others. Mountain King could be put in a damage dealing bolster set, so he will offer you a bit of fun, I suppose. He's probably not going to be up there as like my next best option, but again, he's negative affinity to most of the good nukers, right? So, and he's HP based. And he smacks on A2, so bolster set is a very good shield set as well. You know, shield set, if you've got a bolster set, the shield set will sack, so it will offer you a bit more protection, a bit more reliable, and then you bring in that. So again, you know, Ronda, free champion, a lot of us. Great nuker overall, great in the live arena, probably one of the best in the live arena. Rashguard is one of the hardest hitting defense champions in the game, and it's worth pointing out that he can do some work. Another one is Einheit. Like, Einheit's a great champion, underrated. It is defense based, it hits really hard as well. Cubitus can kind of work depending if you have like a Necrid and stuff like that. You will need Necrid, bolster sets, etc. to kind of make that work, but he could definitely do some work, but only if he's in that style of team. So, you know, that's something to bear in mind. If you have a Necrid, then any tap-based nukers are fair game, right? You just get protected from that, and it's hard to go through a Necrid in killable. Magna, I think Magna's half decent, right? Not my number one choice for myself, but again, his HP base could offer you a bit more, so I think that's also worth to point out. We have we also have Taurus. You know, if you have Taurus, you know how he works, you know how good he is. I think another great nuker is Dragonbane. I think he's really good in live arena. He's been used a lot, and I think if you have him, I can't remember if he's guaranteed or it was a 10x, but I know a lot of people have him. I don't have one myself. I would like one. So he's a very good defense nuker. Who else can we say? I need to do some testing with Cernig, but maybe an option. I'm not too sure yet. Errol hits hard. I don't know if I'd use him on 3 vs 3 defense without an Necrid. Obviously, if you have an Necrid, Turvolt's definitely up there as well. But I don't really want to say, oh, if you got Necrid, you know, that kind of thing. Ignatius does hit fairly hard. Brings quite a few unique stuff. If you have an increased defense, then that's something to bear in mind. Yeah, I mean, there's probably quite a few champions. Krisk as a defense nuker could be quite of fun. I've seen 1 or 2 of them knocking around. He has got god tier multipliers on the A2 for sure. A nuking Koronark with Malaya could definitely work if you put some bolster sets up there as well. I don't know about the future champion. I haven't really done much champion, much testing. Bombs is a very good option for defense as well. Obviously, my man Mortimer Carb, who is really good, doesn't need to be booked. Fair enough, in E3 Blood Twin, if he gets off a block revive, and all his abilities are block revives, he will cause you a lot of problems. You know, if you nukes your nuker and gets a free shot at the nuker, then you're in fair game there as well. So Foley's, I suppose Foley's in the same group. I don't really would like use Xavier. I think she takes too much to set up. Ashelon is more like kind of other bits and bobs. Nuke and Hedgie, not really. Solus is another good option, right? He hits really, really damn hard if you have increased defense. So Solus is definitely up there. Bearing in mind, I would probably go high resistance Kaimar if you have one as well. But it's definitely an option, right? So yeah, definitely would think about that. And I think these are like the main nukers that I would generally go with. I think there's one I'm kind of missing. Oh yeah, In Harmony, amazing nuker. Definitely could be put in assault teams as well. Probably the best non-void legendary at the moment in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's the DPS ones. I've seen some people have a bit of fun with him in defense, so I don't know how I feel about him right now, but if you have a Necrid, definitely would work. So yeah, and another thing as well to worth pointing out with my defenses is normally you say some type of damage increase from my accounts as well. So what do I mean by this? So see if he has increased defense, right? So that's perfect for increased defense for Solus, Einheit, all that stuff, and sorry, someone's calling me, and stuff like that. So that's something to bear in mind. So yeah, and then we have Duchess with both teams and Brognin to Priest with increased attack. So increased attack is key for me to do more damage and kill them faster. So if I stay alive long enough and they're running, I don't know, stone skin, and then all they've done is just piled a load of stone skin on, but then not even consider the stats. The minute I get increased attack up, a Leo is almost unkillable. We're gonna nuke them, and it's gonna hurt. It's the same with Candy, and Candy, you know, Warlords are in here as well. They're gonna put the skills on cooldown, so it's gonna stop them buffing up and be able to take a lot of damage. So it's only a matter of time. The longer the fight goes on, is I'm gonna put him increased defense up, increase accuracy or defense, and be able to nuke them. So that's something to kind of keep in mind and build in team synergy and stuff like that. It's also worth pointing out, like I posted a video this weekend, my defenses did fairly well, and I had a lot of 2-1 loses on defense. So 2-1 loses were quite good for me because I don't have the most stat to count, and I'm only losing about 10 points. And you saw how good my offense was. My offense was flawless. So I do a couple of offense, I will rake in a lot of points and then lose a few. But I actually forgot to mention in that video that my Raglan was actually naked. She didn't have any stone skin on. I was doing some testing, and I sent her the builds with Tupanda with high resistance on the Duchess, and I was doing this in stream as well, and I forgot to re-equip her. So I actually had a really good defense for a naked champion. So it kind of, people that lost to me, and if they read to this now, are watching this, they'll probably think, damn, you know, like, that's why, like, the top team would have been way higher in player resistance and stuff like that, because she has over 800 resistance without even the resist lead. So and that's kind of like crazy. So team synergy, I think you need a mix of bolster, you need a mix of stone skin or protection, and I think like protection is a really hard set to use, but if you do get it in there, then it's generally a fairly good one. So there's only a couple of champions I'd put a protection set on. You need generally like a lot of debuffs, and I think like Necrid is kind of iffy one where you put protection set on him, because he's great in the bolster, and again bolster stacks. So you kind of gotta look at it as, and even stone skin Necrid's annoying. Protections Necrid's are good, but when you've got the other two sets, it kind of makes you think, right? Again, Lydia, I think comes in a few of my defenses, normally to replace Raglan for the block revive, right? Just to be extra annoying. You know, Rose goes in there, or take out world champion, probably in Nuka, most likely, and then they can't revive. And then I'm on a 5-turn cooldown, counting down, and then all I have to do is keep my other two revivers alive until Rose gets his block revive, and then starts picking them off one by one. He has great RNG as well in that A1, so that's also another thing to bear in mind. He can extend his HP from his A2 ability, which is really cool as well. So yeah, there's probably a lot of things to take in from that. Team synergy wise, I think I've got it down to a nail. I think there's a few improvements. I don't have champions like Ursula, Warcaster, right, who offers massive shields, offers massive protection. Another champion you could probably use is actually probably a little bit underrated and can be quite annoying for 3 vs 3 is Krisk, because Krisk, you put him in a bolster set, it will extend that, or it will extend his allied protection and stuff like that, and you can build him to nuke. So he could do 2 or 3 jobs in that team, right? You can build him to nuke, you can build him to give allied protection and stuff like that, and you know, there's a couple of champions who can also do this. So we have the free champion that we all got, who some people, so wrong faction, who are also running as well. So like Annex, for example, she brings ally protection and counter attack on herself, and then she brings 2 AoEs that hit okay. You know, like I generally don't recommend her that much, but she does hit generally fine. And you know, if you're not running a tanky team, you could be in trouble against her. So you know, she also brings other utilities like ally protection and stuff like that for the rest of your team, which means like the damage you're kind of balancing out over your team. And that's another thing to take about is like masteries. So like for example, UDK is in Stone, right? It's really slow, tanky, but then he has bolt work, so he soaks up the damage instead of going to my Duchess. Pythian, he has bolt work because the more buffs you put on him, the more damage reduction I get, which is up to 25% on his passive, and then the damage reduction I take. Now bearing in mind my Pythian's in the wrong place, he's in the wrong placement, he should be at the ends like my UDK, but I've also left him there because of polymorph. So you kind of have to like balance it out away you go with that, so that's something to kind of bear in mind. And Duchess again is another champion that you want to bear in mind, because you could put polymorph at the front like UDK right now, but the problem is then you lose the passive 10% AoE damage reduction, and that is another one to kind of bear in mind. So yeah, you know, there's a lot to take in considerations for that. You're more welcome to go watch the video. I show my defense log in that. I also post my defense logs quite regularly in Discord, right? So if we come into my arena, I post my defense logs quite a bit. I also post a live arena, post 3 vs 3. So we got me and Final Kapuchi going ahead, me testing his teams and just seeing how good they are, see if there's any ideas. Yeah, he's a smart content creator, so it's definitely something to bear in mind. We won 1 victory here, we lose a few to impoundments here, and there's a few impoundments here. I know ET Max as well. And then look at this, like 1-1-1. Yeah, same person hits me, but we're winning, right? I think overall he does win, but I still take more points in it. And then again here, you know, it's worth pointing out there. We've got stuff like this. So again, we mentioned Dragon Bane earlier. He was getting used. And then yeah, here we go. More 3 vs 3. I don't post every week, but I do try and post as much as possible. Classic arena. So again, I test out a couple of my defenses in a week as well, and I build fairly strong defenses in a week to the average player, right? So I stack a couple of bolsters and stuff like that. So as you can see, offense 30 out of 30 here, and it was a Sunday as well, and I was pushing up and I just won, and I went back to back, so it was like a long stream but plenty of points going in there. And then yeah, again, more 3 vs 3 offenses and stuff, and obviously my plat finish and stuff like that. So you know, like I do post quite a bit in there, post new teams and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, there we are. We've gone on how to build a perfect 3 vs 3 defense. This will also work in Classic Arena. Live Arena is a little bit different, but once I get more comfortable in Live Arena and test out a couple of more strategies, I will release a perfect video for the best strategies. Go second videos. I think we might release one while I was on my holiday, so just keep an eye on the YouTube channel on that. But it will be a long video because Live Arenas are long videos. So yeah, hopefully you like this. Please make sure you comment, like and subscribe so I can carry on bringing you these videos and helping the average player on a daily basis. And then yeah, have a great weekend. If I don't see you on stream, I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks from Sunday, so I won't be streaming for 2 weeks, but I will still be releasing a couple of videos. And also there's going to be that nice account to give away as well, which has like 4 Kaimas, double Dutches. It's a very insane account, so I'm looking forward to doing that for the channel and for the community as well, and for it to go to a good home. So yeah, please remember to have a great weekend. Enjoy your CVC. Hopefully everyone got a Harmony and Krisk. If everyone for them, I have 2 Krisk myself, so I don't need to go for Krisk. But yeah, great champion overall, and yeah, underrated for sure. And I will see you guys on next video. Peace.